Dark Nexus. Tonight, it's Act 3, Chapter 131. We are picking up in the underground necropolis metropolis of Egu's Kais. Egu's Kais. Dr. Professor Vic, Headmistress Dora, Sensei Grip, and Municipal Drone/Civil Servant Dabwick, all kitted up in their professional workwear, of course, stand outside what the cats called the Plaza of Bones. That's right, the cats. It seems as though it wasn't only Arventon and the enchanted wood that your previous selves left either ruined or utterly changed. After whatever your shenanigans were in Egu's Kais, after the Triangle Man stole the skull of Queen Chalthis from the Lenghouls that previously dwelt here, the vast underground city in this enormous cavern lit by phosphorescent fungus was, it seems, abandoned. And then the cats found it. And now they're trying to hold it against an insurgency of gugs. Oh my god. Okay, that's now the collective noun for gugs.
An insurgency of gugs.
Insanity of Zoogs, insurgency of gugs. So in this dream, you were called here by a planar binding spell and have taken payment in exchange for a service. You have agreed to clear out the Plaza of Bones, send word back to the cats, and then hold the space for 2 hours in the middle of a war. And after an eventful trek through the war-torn city, you have reached your destination. Let me take you to a map.
Ooh.
Are you doing that rainbow-y thing?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So the plaza itself is carved into one of the cavern walls, but the entrance, as the cats promised, is very recognizable by description. You stand in front of a 30-foot wide, 20-foot tall hallway, or promenade, as they called it, cutting into the stone wall of the cavern. It goes about 70 feet or so into the rock and then turns sharply left and out of sight. Now, the whole stretch of the promenade is lit by crazy, psychedelic, multicolored fungi carpeting the ceiling and walls. The floor is littered with scattered bones and bone fragments, and you can tell that moving through them is going to be quite noisy, as in a significant penalty to stealth checks. And in fact, you can see way up ahead where the passage cuts to the left, you can see that the floor up there looks to be nearly 2 feet deep in bones. Difficult terrain for small and medium creatures, to say the least. But before that, running down the length of the promenade are 2 rows of 4 columns each, flanking the passage. Now, each is made of pure white alabaster, carved to resemble dozens of intertwined skeletons of humanoids and animals, and sometimes even stranger creatures. The effect here is totally H.R. Geiger. Beautiful but haunting, organic but constructed.
I believe it is Giger.
Is it Giger?
I believe so.
All of the construction looks as though it's essentially like bits of spine or chunks of bones or skeletons lashed together.
Or one giant alien.
Could be. So you're staring down this long, wide, tall promenade of bones. What, my friends, do you do?
Do we hear anything?
You don't, but give me perception checks.
I do not hear anything.
I hear Grip not hearing anything.
He's not hearing things very loudly. What about Dabs?
Dabs sees these bones up ahead and is a smaller medium creature themselves. So they cast Featherstep Mass on everybody.
Thank you.
Sweet.
Thank you.
So we ignore difficult terrain.
Difficult terrain starts here where I'm pinging?
Yep.
Okay.
The entire of the rest of the map.
Well.
What'd you get for perception?
31 or 34 for traps.
Natural 20 for 37.
Okay. So let's expand on this Giger alien theme. 3 of the columns have creatures incorporated into the architecture and artwork. Like exactly out of that stretch in aliens where they peel themselves out of the architecture. So 2 of the columns, let me ping here for you.
Everybody dies there in that scene. Almost everybody dies, just so you know.
The second column on the right, everybody see a ping?
Yep.
Yeah.
And the third column on the left have what appear to be either long spinal columns or snake skeletons incorporated into the carving, and the 2 of yours keen eyes can pick out, those long things are wrapped around the column, not integrated into the carving. And then the last one, the 4th column on the right may actually be some sort of creature and not a column, because you're seeing, okay, it's artfully carved like bones and like bones wrapped around each other, but that one's got a lot of there's a lot of sinew going on wrapped around these individual bones that none of the rest of this alabaster carving has. So there's something going on with all of those. I can take Katie's having a bad time.
Ready for that knowledge religion roll?
No, knowledge arcana.
Oh.
Can everybody make it?
Yes. Once these are pointed out to you, it's actually, it's probably hard for you to see it, Dora, but they can describe what they're looking at.
Dora just as freaked out as me.
I'm going to take 2 checks. So the first check, anybody get anything interesting?
17.
22.
Both of you have some idea of what's going on with the spine/snake things. These are called necrophidiuses. Necrophidii, probably? So these are constructs that are fashioned out of the spine of a snake attached to the head of a humanoid creature. And
Oh my gosh.
So old school.
This is so old school.
Yeah.
This is like from Fiend Folio.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I can see the image in my head with that old artwork.
Yes. So Vic knows that these things, kind of like ghouls, their bite can paralyze a victim. And Dora also knows that they have the ability to do an entrancing dance. They can essentially take a full round action and daze living creatures that can see them. So they are constructs, so you know that they are immune to death effects, disease, mind-affecting effects, necromancy effects, paralysis, poison, sleep, stun, any effect that requires a fortitude save, unless it also works on objects or is harmless. And then, the typical not subject to ability damage, ability drain, energy drain, exhaustion, fatigue, or non-lethal damage. Give me one more check to see if we recognize what the other thing is.
Also Arcana?
Also Arcana.
And there's 2 of the necrophidii.
2 necrophidii.
28.
35.
Oh.
Nice. You both are pretty sure that entire last column is a bone golem. Which is another construct. A large creature with all of the construct traits. You both know that they are completely immune to any spell or spell-like ability that allows spell resistance, with the following exceptions. Any magical effects that heal living creatures will slow them, no save. Any magical effect that deals negative energy damage breaks any slow effect and heals the golem. And then, there's some other things that interact, but they're spells that you have no access to, like Raise Dead, Resurrection, True Resurrection. They don't matter. We don't got those going on. Dora, you got a 35?
Yeah. And I'm useless against the bone golem.
You would know that they're able to hurl humanoid-sized pieces of themselves, which will then magically form a cage around the creatures that they are hurled against, grappling and constricting them.
What kind of bullshit is this?
It is extreme bullshit. That's about what you know. You do know These bone golems are incredibly rare, and you would both be pretty sure there might even be more stuff going on with them, but that is what the two of you know to be up with them.
Are they subject to being hit?
They are subject to being hit.
Great.
You stand outside this psychedelic promenade as there are fireballs and meteor swarms going off behind you, the roars of a war happening in the city. You're very close to the old quarter now, so the heart of the battle where the cat v Gug fight is going on.
I will be downing extracts of shield and gravity gun and expeditious retreat and channel vigor.
How many rounds is that? Does that mean we're buffing before we engage because of our amazing perception checks?
Right now, nothing's happening. They're not doing anything.
I will also put my oil of silence on vanity.
Are all of these effects minute or longer?
Yes.
Okay.
The only one that isn't would be
If you're going to cast anything that is 1 round per level, then I'm going to put you on a clock and we'll start counting down.
yeah.
Otherwise, I'm assuming you're sort of like buffing and chatting.
I'm holding off on channel vigor until we decide that we're going to start doing something.
Great. And remember, all those consumables from the real world, such as your bull strength potions, gripper, etc., all that stuff,
Yep.
comes back.
I'm trying to decide if I want to drink down one of those right now or wait, because that's 3 minutes.
3-minute duration, yeah.
I mean, are we going after these things? Is that the...
Well, we didn't come here not to go after
We
these
have to.
things.
This is part of holding the Plaza of Bones.
Right. Then I'm down. I'm going to drink bold strength potion.
Okay. You can certainly, once you all are committed to moving forward, you can wait to drink until then if you wish. That's totally fine.
These things are not undead, they're constructs.
That's correct.
Which is worse for me. I can't even
Amazingly,
use my
yeah.
freedom. So I'm so glad I have all these extra spells because I have one that is not subject to spell resistance.
Yeah, constructs are tricky.
Yeah. Now, in terms of the fireballs would have almost no effect on them since they've got spell resistance.
They would have literally no effect on the bone golem. As far as you know, the necrophidiae are subject to spells.
Oh, so I could use magic missile on the necrophidia.
You are not aware of them having magic immunity.
Did I mention I'm casting Slate Skin on myself?
Boom. Zoom.
Thank you.
I already had mage armor.
Do you want me to use the tentacles?
Yeah. I mean, it seems like a good idea to slow them down, right?
How long will they last? Like, don't we have to go through there eventually?
Well, if we can kill them, I can dismiss it, but they last less than a minute.
Okay, sure.
They will slow and damage you all.
Yeah, I'm going to be standing out taking shots at them.
All right.
My concern was for grip.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not taking shots because I'm shite with a bow. I assume they'll try to come out and get us, though.
I fear the black tentacles won't do very much against the bone column. I'm sure it's...
I would rather not have to wade through tentacles if he's just going to be back there chucking bones at us without us being able to get to him.
I'm happy to combat advice and magic missile the necrophidiae.
Dabuk will use a scroll of Cat's Grace on themselves.
Yeah. Everybody buffed to their personal satisfaction?
You have to be able to see me for combat advice, which since that's the only thing I can do here, I'm not going to go invisible yet.
Which one are we taking out first?
I mean, I guess we just start walking in because I bet something will make that decision for us. I mean, I think focus fire on the bone golem makes the most sense to me, but...
I'm useless against the bone golem, though I can give you combat advice against it. I will focus magic missiles on the necrophidiae. Of course, if we ignore the necrophidiae completely, they will simply enchant you and make it impossible for you to fight the bone golem. So,
Dabs, you got anything you can summon to help us?
Dabwick starts to summon a giant scorpion, which is vermin, so not subject to any of those mind-affecting effects.
Not subject to their thing.
That's right.
Good call.
Giant scorpion.
Where can you place it? Can you place it, like, back here?
I think, yeah, right there, yes. Schwamp.
So now that Dabwick has begun to prepare a spell that will almost certainly trigger a fight, I'm assuming while Dabs is doing that, that's everybody's surprise round action of drinking Channel Vigor, drinking Bull Strength.
Yep.
Anything Dora's doing in that last round before shit goes down?
Hiding behind everyone else as usual.
Excellent. And then a gigantic fucking scorpion materializes in the center of the hallway. Everybody roll for initiative.
They know we're here. We know they're here. No point in sense motivating.
You were aware of the opponent before you rolled initiative, so
But
go ahead.
not when both sides happen upon each other or you were surprised.
Yeah, which neither of those happened.
Okay, so roll it.
Yeah.
Oh, natural 20.
So then, Dora, what'd you get with your sense motive add-on there?
I got a 32, so I guess it's DC 15, or unless they're
15.
higher, so that's +3. So I got a 17.
17. Perfect. And Gripper.
12.
Dabwick.
20.
And Vic.
Natural 20 for 25.
Nice.
It's 18 because I get a +1 regardless, and then another +3 for every 5.
18. So, round 1 starts. This gigantic scorpion materializes out of nowhere in the center of this promenade, basically directly between the two necrophidiae, right in the middle of the promenade. And Vic is the first to react after that happens. What are you doing, Vic? And the scorpion is a large creature, so it is taken up about a third of the width of the hallway and half of the height of the hallway. It's big. It is a gigantic scorpion, Polly.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that scorpion has reach.
Yeah, tell us about that, Polly.
Giant scorpion has grab and constrict, but does not have reach.
All right, so, Vic, you've got a clear line unobstructed to the one on the right side of the hallway, but the one on the left side of the hallway is behind a whole row of columns. Can't really get at it, so I'm assuming you're shooting at the one on the right?
Correct.
We'll call that one Necrophidius 1.
Necrophidius 1, I narrow my eyes, making it my studied target, and then level Vanity against it, firing not quite in point-blank range.
Where is your channeled vigor this round?
Limbs.
Limbs. Remind us what that does.
That gives me an additional attack as if I am hasted. Actually, it gives me haste. So, I'll take it. First one is a 32 minus 4, a 28 touch.
That is a hit.
12 points of damage.
And what kind of damage is it?
Bludgeoning, piercing, and also some precision, I guess.
So then, in another alien-style nightmare, you all see this creature unfold from the artistry of the column as a vast chunk of it explodes in a shower of bone shards. And it seems to indeed take all of that damage, but it is now visible to all of you as its humanoid head, cocks on its long snake body to stare out into the open cavern at all of you.
Does it have acid for blood?
It does not have acid for blood.
Okay, then.
It
How
has
much
no
damage
blood.
did it take?
12.
12. Thank you.
And I assume you got more attacks coming, Johnny.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then does a second attack was a 19 for a total of 15 touch.
Hit.
Oh, terrible roll. Only 8 points of damage.
All right. This damage is definitely going through. You are seeing it being injured.
And then last one is,
This is your hasted attack?
yep,
Great.
is a 37 minus 4 is a 33.
Yeah, it's a hit.
And that will be for 10 points of damage, and I'm going to add an additional 2d6 for 4, and another 4 for 8 more points of damage.
As it explodes in a shower of bone shards
Vic is going to take a 5-foot step.
away from the party. Got it. And then the bone golem unfolds from from the pretense that it is a column and becomes this gigantic humanoid-looking construct of bones. I think I got art. Do I have art? Zoom.
Oh.
What's with the things on its back?
So this is...
It has knees are. Its knee
Knees,
is a
it's-
skull.
So many of its joints are skulls. So this thing is not the skeleton of a creature, but it is an amalgamation of bones of multiple different kind of creatures, loosely lashed together by sinew into a gigantic humanoid form about 12 feet tall. Long claws, blue glowing light in the center of its empty rib cage. And yeah, I love this picture. It's got like boar tusks as almost like armor wings, coming sprouting out the back. So fun.
Yeah.
Its jaw looks like it's the jaw of a much larger
Yeah,
monster.
it is.
The top of it looks like it's kind of like a giant skull, and the bottom
It
is
has
like the bottom of an alligator
a skull
skull.
hat.
It takes a 5-foot step
So rude to look undead like that.
back into the bones and reaches in with its right hand, grabs like the entirety of its rib cage and hurls it at the giant scorpion. And as this pile of bones is soaring through the air, the bones rematerialize around its glowing magical center and then turn into a gigantic cage which encloses around the scorpion. All right, so first of all, he's got to make a ranged touch attack.
What the fuck?
So this will be against your touch AC. Yeah, it's something in the 30s.
Yeah.
All right, and here is its CMB check. 33.
Yes.
What is the scorpion's CMB? CMD, maybe.
18. 30 versus trip, but yeah, 18.
Hey, it could have been Grip or Vic.
Hey, glad I threw that giant scorpion out there to be a target.
Thank you.
It was just living its life somewhere else.
So the bones completely enclose the giant scorpion. It is wrapped in a cage of bones. It's got the grappled condition.
Is it grapple check to break free?
Yes, it would be a grapple check to break free on its turn.
Full round action, probably?
Nope, standard action.
Okay.
All right, so that is the Bone Golem's turn. Dabwick, you are up next. You and your Scorpion pal are up next. So the Scorpion is wedged next to, about 10 feet away, the second Necrophidius, and about 30 feet to 25 feet away from the Bone Golem, but it is currently encaged in a cage of bones.
The scorpion will make a grapple check to try to escape.
Good luck.
That's 6 on the die plus 12 to grapple. That's 18.
It is still grappled. What does Dabwick do?
Dabwick runs
Run away!
away. No,
Sorry,
Dabwick
cats.
runs 20 feet to the north, grabbing some soft cover from this column from
Yeah.
between themselves and the bone golem.
Yeah.
And pulls out a pair of river stones from their spell component pouch and throws a pair of stone disci at the Necrophidii.
Necrophidius is behind the giant scorpion, which is almost 3 times its size.
Shoot.
So you're going to have to deal with firing into melee. You're going to have to deal with cover from the scorpion. Still want to do it?
No.
And the bone golem, when it stepped out, it is now wading through the 2 feet, like, dunes of
It's like
bones.
in a bone bath.
Yes, and it seems to be completely unhampered in its movement by them.
Shocked, I tell you. Shocked.
It's because it's so big.
The Frankenstein's monster of bones is unaffected by more bones.
Welcome
All
to the
right.
Plaza of Bones.
With river stones in hand, Dabwick will ready in action to toss those river stones at the bone golem once it crosses, if it crosses the giant scorpion.
Oh, so when it gets within range, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. Fantastic. Dora, you are up next.
Hi, can I
Hi.
see the other Necrophidii from here? Necrophid thing?
Just simply to see part of it.
I need to be able to target with something that can't miss.
Oh, Matt, you're talking magic missile?
Yes.
Yes, you could target it with a magic missile, 100%.
Do I think that if I moved here, I could still see it?
No, there's like an outjet of the wall. You see that outjet
Yes,
there?
I do.
I think if you
I think
were,
between this outjet and this column, it's not safe over there.
if you were,
I might go there anyway.
I think you're good there.
No. I will fire a. I will use my Phrenic Amplification Focus Force to empower a magic missile, a void missile, at the other Necrophidius.
Fantastic. So 4 void missiles streak out.
6 and 7. 13.
13 points of damage slam into the Necrophidius, which all of it seems to take. Bone shards flying in all directions.
How satisfying.
Very satisfying.
I would give someone combat advice.
Yeah.
But instead, I'm going to move way the fuck over here for now.
Oh, out of view.
I want to be out of view.
Great. So Dora ducks to as you're facing in, to the left side of the passage entrance, so nothing on the inside can see her. Cool. Is that your turn?
It is.
All right.
My
Necrophidius.
job partly is not to get hit.
Necrophidius number 2 is up. It disengages silkily from
So glad I can't
Oh,
the column.
does it make like a
Silkily.
clattery sound as it does it, or is it silent?
It's silky.
It's silent as it disengages, but then as it starts moving down the hallway closer to you, it is the scrape of bone on stone on bone.
I'm assuming it provokes from the giant scorpion, even though it's.
Nope, the giant scorpion is grappled.
So when you're grappled, there's no.
Yeah.
All right.
The Necrophidius moves. Oh, it's such a good thing you can't see this, Katie, because the Necrophidius is basically like right around the corner from Dora. So Dora has got her back pressed against the cavern wall. The Necrophidius is right in the opening of the mouth.
Sigourney Weaver in the Alien 3 poster.
And oh wait, the Dance of Death is a full round action, so I can't do that here. So it's going to continue its move and close with Vic. Oh, it's now very close to Dora as well, 10 feet away from Dora. Ooh, this is fun. All right, Gripper, you are up. You are 15 feet away from the Necrophidius, which is engaged with Vic.
I'm going to spend a swift action.
Yes.
To drop into the pummeling style.
Zoom.
I'm going to move so that I am next to Vic.
Yeah, to close with the Necrophidius.
Close with the Necrophidius. I'm going to spend 5 stamina points
To take a full attack on this thing.
to do all of my full attacks
Yeah.
in a standard action.
Nice.
And then I'm going to hit it
Good luck, Necrophidius.
4 times, I hope.
Come on.
I don't think you're seeing round 2, buddy.
Attack number 1.
Natural 1.
No, but it was a 2 for a 14. I'm assuming that.
You keeping it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's a miss.
That's an 18 on the die for a 25.
Hit.
Attack number 3
Yeah,
is a 17.
that's a hit.
Final 19 on the die. So
Yeah,
3
hits.
3 hits. So that's 6d6 of damage plus 15.
Oh my god.
7 plus 11 is 18 plus 15. So what's that?
33.
33 points
It
of damage.
explodes in a shower of bones.
It didn't even get to do its little dance.
It didn't.
Poor little guy.
I know.
Dora is visibly relieved.
Yeah, I bet she is.
10
Shocked,
feet away.
Shocked.
All right, top of round 2. Vic, you are up. The only opponent left in this fight is the Bone Golem, which is way down the hallway behind the giant scorpion. Looks like about 60 feet away from you or so.
Yep.
And behind a whole bunch of cover.
How much cover?
Oh,
The whole giant scorpion will add 4 to its AC.
I will use a point of grit
Yep.
to increase my touch range and fire at it with Vanity after making it my study target.
Bring it.
Does a 29 minus 4, 25 touch hit?
Keeping it?
Yes.
That is a hit.
Excellent. 11 points of damage.
It seems to take some of that.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
that's not good.
Does it seem to take almost none of it or some of it?
It seems to take about half of it.
Oh, okay. Then my second, not spending a point of grit, just shooting, That is a 28 minus 4, 24 regular attack.
That is a hit.
8 points of damage.
All right, seems to take just a little whisper of that.
Excellent. My last one, again, not spending any grit, is a 36 minus 4.
Yeah, it's a hit.
13 points of damage, and I'm going to blow my studied strike on it for an additional 6 plus 4, 10 points. And then I'm going to take a 5-foot step, trying to make myself be harder to be seen by it.
Ooh, all right. Very effective a round of attacks against the creature, although it seems to be shrugging off a bunch of damage hurled at it thus far. The bone golem is up. First thing it does is that bone prison encasing the scorpion squeezes in. I assume a 37 beats its CMD?
Yes.
Eminently. Ooh. 15 points of damage to the scorpion as it is squeezed by the bone prison. Provoking Dabwick's readied action, the bone golem takes a full round to move a good way down the hall, but it's so big and it can't go through the squares that the scorpion is, so it's moving at half speed for a bunch of this to kind of squeeze between the columns and the wall. Wow. But it's, it is almost scraping the ceiling with its height, and it ends up 15 feet away from Dabs. But as it is moving, Dabwick, your ready action would go off.
2 stone discuses. This guy go flying. Dabwick is choosing bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Seeing that perhaps the bludgeoning damage on the bullets that Vic is throwing at it are making a difference.
Throw.
First discus, ranged attack, 20 to hit.
This is touch?
Or just a range?
Versus AC.
Versus AC. You keeping it?
Yes.
That is a miss.
Second attack, 22 to hit.
Keeping that?
Keeping it.
That's a hit.
Okay.
Narrowing in.
8 damage.
8 points of damage. It takes a scant little bit of that.
Quick meta question for the table. We're assuming this is like 5DR? Or,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we don't know what.
Yeah, you don't know what overcomes it yet.
Bypass it?
Yeah.
These disci count as magic and silver, if that makes a difference.
It did not make a difference.
Okay.
So maybe
That's
slashing.
probably adamantine.
Dora is up. Dora, you can see it, right?
I can see a sliver of it.
You can see a little bit of it around the corner there, yeah. You are, 5, 10, 15, like 20 feet away from it.
I hate it so much.
I know, it's coming so close. As it casually strides past the bone-imprisoned giant scorpion.
Yeah, I'm tempted to drop black tentacles behind it, leaving a border where Grip could get in an attack and not be in the tentacles. I'm also just contemplating going invisible and moving my position again and just not getting hit. So
Dora is back in her own private horror movie, like under the bed.
yeah. Every character I play is this character. I will drop a black tentacles
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
behind it so
Yeah.
that Grip can still close with it.
Got it. So you're going to get the scorpion and the bone golem inside the rubbery
Sorry,
field
Scorpion. I feel
Scorpions serve their purpose.
Yeah.
of... All right, roll it up.
24 this round.
All right, so the bone golem is not grappled. Is the giant scorpion double grappled?
Double grappled.
Sorry.
Roll damage against the scorpion.
Only 5.
Inside the bone prison, the giant scorpion who was just living its life is now throttled, harassed, and squeezed by rubbery black tentacles.
So I have a move action. If I take a move action that is not a move, can I also take a 5-foot step?
Yes, you can.
Great.
Yeah.
Grip.
Oh,
I don't know what overcomes its damage reduction, but I suspect it's adamantine if there's anything you can do with that.
And she takes a 5-foot step back into this corner where she can't
Clearing
see it anymore.
further out of the way.
And has nowhere else to go.
Amazing. Gripper, with that advice ringing in your ears, you are up next.
Try slashing.
We are under the assumption that this guy's got 10 feet of reach, yeah?
It visibly has at least that, yes.
Okay. So if I'm gonna close, I'm gonna have to tumble. All right, so first, before he does that, you're gonna see his eyes, his face go slack, his neck go crack, his eyes roll back, and he's going to take the, what's it called? The weapon flexibility. He will take that feat to change his fisticuff bludgeoning damage to slashing damage.
Got it.
Then he's going to attempt to tumble to this
Avoid the tentacles.
square here.
Yes. Closing with the bone golem, with a column on your left, Dabwick on your right.
And he does he's so svelte and
Give me that acrobatic check.
fuck me, natural 1.
Oh, here comes
The bones.
Here comes the
too
slam
svelte.
attack. Gigantic bone fist lashes out, hitting an armor class 27.
Ah, yes.
Boy, 14 points of damage, and boom, slams down onto the gripper. But you have closed with it.
Great.
It's right
Then
there, looming over you.
He will spend another 5 points of stamina.
Throw it away.
It'll come back after this fight. You can't even taunt me with
If
throwing
this fight ends where
with
we
this
think it will.
resource away. And then he's going to try 4 attacks.
Here we go.
Number 1. That's a fuck you natural 20.
Yes.
Back it up.
Are they subject to criticals?
They are.
Great. Backed up with a 24.
That is a critical hit.
Great. Attack number 2.
Yep.
That's a 15. I'm just going to let that one fly.
15, you can spend this is the time to spend your points, right?
I've got 3 left, but I only have 3 left, so I can't, I don't have enough to make it matter. So, third attack. 21. I will spend one more point.
Hit.
Last one is a miss.
All right, so effectively 3 hits.
So that is, again, that's what I had last time. So 6d6 plus 15.
And this is all pulled together in purposes of damage reduction, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
So that's
super helpful.
Yeah.
7 plus 6 is 13. Plus 9 is 22 plus 15. So 22 plus 37.
So instead of knocking 10 points off of that from the damage reduction, which still applies to this, I'm only knocking 5 off of that. So the total of 32 points of damage, is that right?
Correct.
All right, it is absolutely still going. But these blows, it was a massive series
And this
of
was
blows.
slashing.
Understood.
Okay.
Still subject to the damage reduction.
Okay.
And again, because this is a construct, there's just absolutely no way to tell. And also because it magically reforms bones as they leave its body. So like bones are going flying, you're knocking ribs off, knocking like bone, skull joints off of it, and then they just reform.
Does it also
back
have
in.
regeneration?
It does not, no.
But so we would have no way of knowing if it's bloodied or not.
That is
first.
correct. That's
the
what
point
I'm leaning at right here.
Gotcha.
Visually, it's impossible to tell how hurt it is.
Understood.
Top of round 3. Vic, you are up next. Behind a column from it, but probably easy. Oh, boy. Yeah, no, you can get a sight on it with a 5-foot step.
That is exactly what he does. He takes a 5-foot step to his left,
Yes.
clearing the column so that he has a bead on a part of this gigantic monstrosity, and again narrowing his eyes and spending one of his last 2 inspiration points.
Ooh.
He makes this bone monstrosity his studied target again.
Yeah.
And then, as a free action, he draws an adamantine alchemical cartridge
Uh-huh.
and plugs it into Vanity,
Yep.
and narrowing his eyes, takes aim to
Nice.
see if this will make any difference on this thing. Da-da-da. And I believe I'm now in point blank range, so I'll take
Yeah,
that.
100%.
Let's see.
15 feet away.
Oh, that's a 34 minus 4 for melee,
30 touch?
30 touch.
That's a hit, obviously,
Okay,
yeah.
and that's 16 points of damage with the adamantine alchemical cartridge.
All that damage goes through.
Oh,
nice.
and now he's got his number.
I knew it!
Tori yells out. I can't
What?
see it,
Where
but
did
I knew
that
it,
come
but I was right.
Attack number 2, not great. Although maybe That's a 14 touch.
Keeping it?
Yep.
Hit. This is a large creature.
I know.
Yeah.
You never know.
I know, it's true.
That is going to be 12 more points with the adamantine alchemical cartridge.
The bullet goes straight through the blue light in the center of its rib cage, and as it connects, poof, light goes out, and then like 12 feet of bones right next to Grip just clatter instantaneously down to the ground as you destroy it.
Fucking A.
Woohoo!
And I get a grit point back.
Yeah, you do.
Nice.
Yeah, you do.
And I'll give you a grip point.
Dora dismisses the black tentacles.
Yep.
Dabwick dismisses the giant scorpion.
Oh,
Poor
bye, Scorpion.
It lived.
It lived.
It did. Bye, Scorpion.
Do you mind if can we take a few moments to sit so I can get my breath back and regain my stamina?
Look up exactly how long it's going to take because we got a whole bunch of spells ticking down.
All right.
1 minute for each point.
If we could at least take 5 minutes, is that cool? Then I would at least have enough to do it once.
I will have literally then like a minute left of my...
Cat's Grace will be gone. Bull Strength will be gone.
All right, let's press on.
All right. Scoping. Got the the magnifying glass in one hand, looking for traps as we move along, and in the other hand, a loaded alchemical torch vanity with adamantine alchemical cartridge.
I'm gonna down a cure light wounds.
Great. Any other healing? Awesome.
For 9.
So, are we letting Vic scout ahead, or are we sticking close to him as he moves?
I'd rather let Vic scout ahead.
Okay.
Maybe 20 feet
yeah.
behind.
Sounds great, yeah. And we're going to do the grip, then door, then dabs order that we often do, or are we going to switch it up from there?
That sounds good.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to go along the wall here.
Going along the left wall.
Yep. As I
the
make my
western
way
wall of the promenade.
up and through.
Give me a perception check.
All right. That is a 29 or a 20. I'm sorry, or a 33 for traps.
And are you attempting to move stealthily?
Yeah, I've got expeditious retreat, so I
Great.
can move normal speed and still be moving stealthily.
Give me a stealth check.
Absolutely. That is a 27.
All right, so making your way along the west wall of this promenade here, you pass the first 3 columns. As you're approaching the last column on the left, this is the point at which the bones on the ground start to get super, super deep, and you're with great satisfaction watching the bones are almost parting around you as you step through them. Like you're still making noise because they're crunching under your feet, but they are not inhibiting your movement. So Dabwick's magic is just kind of like shifting things around you as you wade through effectively like dunes of bones.
Amazing. Best spell ever, Dabs.
It is.
You can tell that the passage turns sharply to the left and that this psychedelic, multicolored fungus light is definitely illuminating the room around the way. You're beginning to see as you get to this point. I'm going to ping something real quick here, Johnny. Do you see this kind of like sharpish line here?
Yes.
So Vic is detecting as he gets near the end of this promenade that part of the northern wall where the passage curves around goes from feeling very natural cavern tunnel into what looks like a manufactured, perfectly vertical wall carved out of this stone. It's still the same material. It's still the stone of the earth, but it has definitely been worked. Continue moving.
I'm going to down an invisibility extract.
Okay.
So I give like a hand signal to everyone behind me.
Yep.
And mime drinking an extract and then sort of cover my eyes. And then I'm going to...
Dora gives 2 enthusiastic thumbs up.
Then I disappear from sight.
Vic vanishes.
Can I cast message before he disappears?
Sure.
Yeah.
So
You can tell me anything.
Vic, you wade through the bones and around the corner into a Giger nightmare / wonderland. It's a large cave, around 80 feet deep, over 60 feet wide, still around 20 feet tall. The entire ceiling is carved into repeating bone-like arching shapes.
Oh.
Every crack and crevice of it coated with this psychedelic fungus. Cracked and shattered bones of numerous shapes and sizes cover the floor, piled into grisly, jagged dunes. The walls of this chamber are lined with a dozen or more doors. Stone doors, all either open or ripped off their hinges that obviously lead into narrow mausoleums. Do you have eyes on those? Can you see those?
I can.
Great. And then at the center of this chamber, the only mausoleum that isn't open is the one at the center of the cavern. It is a building that appears to be exactly 8 feet by 8 feet by 8 feet, sitting on a raised dais in the middle of what was once a fountain but has long since dried up and is now filled with bones. The image of a leering ghoul face with a particularly long canine snout and a haughty expression is carved on the door to that mausoleum. Also, as you get to this point, invisibly, you catch sight of 2 gigantic fucking creatures attempting to remain hidden, but they do not escape your view. There are 2 Gugs in this room. One hiding behind the mausoleum, and it's so big, 16 feet tall, half a ton in weight. No, a full ton in weight. It's crouching down behind this mausoleum, and you're just catching bits of it sticking around. It seems as though it has the ability to squeeze down pretty small, but it has not escaped your attention. The other one is about 10 feet away from you to your left, hiding right around the corner, lying in ambush, and you catch sight of this colossal menace with this horrible vertically aligned mouth, these arms that split at the elbows into 2 other arms, towering over you, 16 feet tall. I gotta check your sanity, buddy.
Stealing his mind, he sees this thing, and he gets a 19. Don't you ask me if I'm keeping it. Don't you do it.
No.
5 points of sanity damage, and you go mad.
Oh, no. You were so...
Oh, no. 5 points?
insane
5
for a little while.
points.
Oh, man.
These things are horrific beyond belief. There is almost this quality of, though they're not technically a nightmare creature like the Ragman or like, say, denizens of Leng, these are creatures that dwell in the Dreamlands, and they are monstrous creatures of the Dreamlands, horrifying in appearance, and the sight of it just, loosens Vic's bowels.
Was that a fail or a
I'm not even going to say.
God damn it.
So, any initial gut sense of how this madness might manifest?
I mean, I think that it, part of it is being in this place of sort of like death and seeing all these bones and these creatures of bone and stuff, and then seeing these things where all they want to do is to like rend and rip and tear and eat. And so I don't want to go, I'm not feeling like just like straight up phobia, but I feel like there's something about the fear of death, of being eaten, of being turned to bones and like stripped bare.
A deep and profound fear. This is a terror response.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Because literally it's like I'm being hunted by this thing now.
Great, so that's what he's feeling right now. We'll see how that manifests down the road. As you catch sight of this gigantic thing attempting to lie in ambush, and you 15 feet away from it can tell you are easily within its reach. And you can see it's the gigantic mouth that is its head is scanning through the area, trying to pinpoint your location. It is very clearly aware that you are there, but obviously cannot see you. Can't pinpoint you, but it probably did actually hear the small crush of bones under your feet. So
They're very perceptive.
It seems to be wildly perceptive, but not like in a blind sense way, because otherwise it would know, it would go after you, right? It just seems to have probably heard something and is now trying to pinpoint it. So, you have turned the corner. You have seen it. You are filled with terror. You're still invisible to everybody. What does Vic do?
And I know that if I whisper back with the message spell, that it has a chance of hearing that.
It's a small chance, but it does have a chance. What's that DC, Katie?
25.
25, okay.
I mean, that's pretty
Pretty
low.
high. Well, yeah, it depends
Pretty
on...
low, depending if somebody's got a high enough thing to know that I'm somewhere around here. I am going to again move stealthily to give myself more space away from this thing that is lying in wait. And I'm going to move to the far wall so that it can't necessarily get to me, or it wouldn't necessarily know that I'm there.
Going deeper into the chamber, but further out of both its reach and the reach of the one hidden down behind the mausoleum.
They're undead, right?
They are not. They are living creatures.
They're just big brutes. They're just big, giant tanks
Enormous
with four
tanks.
arms, lots of attacks, and can kill you very quickly.
All right, so knowing that the rest of the party can't see you, can't hear you, and is waiting for some instruction on what to do, you've got yourself kind of tucked into a corner, kind of pissing yourself.
Yep.
What do you want to do next?
How big are they?
They go to the ceiling. They are almost 20 feet tall.
So there's no, like, I was thinking of like trying to climb onto a wall. There's no place to go onto the wall to get away from them.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, no.
You have made a grave error, sir.
All right.
And they're like hunched over at the shoulders, so their mouth that's on top of their trunk is facing forward and scanning the air, trying to locate you. But so far, still hidden.
All right. Vic is almost pissing himself, but
Oh, why don't you remove the almost from that sentence?
Vic is pissing himself.
Yes.
His very sort of proper rumpled
Yeah.
Dr. Professor
Dr.
outfit
Professor
is slowly becoming stained with urine.
Making
he's
it
like-
easier to pinpoint your
He's like,
location.
oh God, I hope they can't smell that urine. And he is going to take the chance and message back to the party and say,
2 Gugs. 1 behind mausoleum. 1 around corner. Move far wall before turn.
And their perception check is so high, I don't even have to roll a die
my God.
to tell you that they hear you. We're going to roll initiative at the top of next session. That's the end of chapter 131. Vic is alone with guns! Dark Nexus is produced by Plug and Hum Productions. This podcast uses trademarks and/or copyrights owned by Paizo Incorporated, used under Paizo's fan content policy. This podcast is not published, endorsed, or specifically approved by Paizo. For more information about Paizo Inc. and Paizo products, please visit paizo.com. That's Paizo.com. Dark Nexus uses music and soundscapes by Syrinscape. Check them out at Syrinscape.com. That's Syrinscape.com. Opening and closing themes, along with additional music composed by Rob Kauzlaric. Artwork for Dark Nexus is by Matt Wahlquist. And thanks to DMCP, Richard and Ari, Paul and Shannon, Scotty, Jason, Jess, Joe, Chelsea, Matt, Dave, Derek, Darren, Michaela, J.H., the Biscuit Buddies, and everyone we've gamed with over the years for all the memories and inspiration.
You know what we're fighting here? We're fighting a couple 2-3 tigers.
Heyo.
Is that a reference to something?
No, it's just, it's like the Chicago 3, but it's a couple
Tree.
two tree
Yeah,
tigers.
two trees.
Two tree tigers over by there.
Oh, tree tigers.
Yeah,
I get it.
yeah, see?
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. Thanks for taking the time to explain it to
That's
me.
the sign of a good joke.